Kyle Mohan Racing. We're out here in New Jersey. It's actually beautiful. We're running the New Jersey Drift Park at Englishtown. We've got some laps in. Figured this was a great time, mid-season. We can do a little walk around on the car, talk about some of the things we've been working on, improvements, a little KMR tech talk at the track. So here we go. All right, flipped it around. You can see, we still have some crash damage. It's hard when you're on the road. These events are back to back. We straightened out all of our chassis, all the inner crash bars, but until we have some time, unfortunately that bumper and wing are still looking a little tattered. And for all intent and purposes, even though this was new tail light, new pieces, we rubbed the wall again at Orlando, and we're probably gonna rub the wall some out here in New Jersey. So maybe after New Jersey, new bodywork. We're running the new Federal tires. Fantastic so far. They're still dialing in the performance. We're still dialing in the car's settings, but so far very happy with them. They're new to the series, new tire, new compound, and really enjoying working with them. On the Haltech side, ECU side, just got a brand new laptop. If you follow the channel, my laptop got ran over at the last round, but new laptop, G7, much faster, get to play my video games on it. Nelson Savario, my tuner, is much happier about being able to remote tune via a faster computer. And Haltech, big supporter. We're running the fantastic Elite computer 2500 with that new dash. And I mean, if you're not familiar with their stuff, in the rotary world, in my opinion, it's probably the best way to go. Fantastic rotary support, US support out of the US, out of Australia. We've been running them for years. Great success. You can buy the stuff from Mazda Tricks or Nelson. Precision turbo. We actually went down in turbo size this year. It did cost us a couple horsepower, but we were really trying to build more response. Still a 1.0 rear, in a 72 front, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to look at the data. Still twin wastegates with the third that's actually set up. I did a tech talk on that a while ago as essentially a dump valve. But because we're using a wastegate and the wastegate's actually hooked up, we can tune our dump to specific boost pressure or exhaust pressure. So just kind of cool. Allows extra tunability when you're talking about very high boost level rotaries, or any car for that matter. Being able to adjust your exhaust back pressure via the ECU is just a neat thing. Had a guy ask what plugs we're running, so we'll cover that right now. It's NGK, and we're actually running the racing plugs. They're 11.5 on the index side, so it's one of the coldest plugs they make. And then on top of that, running our E85 Ignite Red. We have a very cool fuel charge, fuel burn via ethanol, and then that very cold plug, because the rotary is 100% duty cycle motor, we don't have a lot of glow, and we're able to crank up that ignition timing and still have preventative octane and fuel stability to help control what often kills rotaries, which is detonation. Sorry, I had to really think about that, how to word that right. So interesting things, how to keep the rotary alive under extreme conditions, because we're running some extreme boost, extreme NOS, extreme power, even high EGTs. XD clutch, we used to run a carbon. We're actually now running one of their triple disc metallic setups. At first, it felt actually like a little snappy to me. I think the carbon was a little smoother, but after a couple rounds, I am so happy with that clutch. That thing engages like a monster. When I grab fifth gear and kick the clutch, instant tire brake. It's got a great feeling, super consistent, and we've been on the same clutch all year right now, including practice, dyno time. So it's really feeling good. Triple disc XD, I think it's out of their Hyper series, mostly off-the-shelf components, one of their lightweight flywheels. I mean, you gotta love a brand that we can pull off-the-shelf components and run in a 1,000 horsepower car. Mishimoto handles all our cooling. This is an off-the-shelf Mishimoto radiator, off-the-shelf fans. I know a lot of guys out here run really custom stuff. One of our goals with our builds is if we have to repair it, we don't want it to be too custom. So this is actually an off-the-shelf Mishimoto radiator, and then we have staggered fans. So the first fan comes on the 16-inch, and then we have the 14-inch that comes on usually while we're in drift to add or pull out extra heat saturation and help pull the smoke out. Wisefab all the way around, Mishimoto oil coolers up front. Our fuel cell is right over the subframe midship, 050 aluminum box per Formula Drift rules, and same thing, bulkheaded down on the fill neck. We've played around with rear mount fuel cells, midship fuel cells. It does change the handling of the car. I kind of like the midship in the RX8, that's where the factory had them, and I don't like too much pendulum on these cars. If you think about a rotary motor, doesn't have a lot of upper end mass, it doesn't have heads, so your mass is down low. So with a long car, getting too much weight in the back kind of makes it handle like a 911 Porsche. So keeping your fuel, radiator, and not too much aft of your rear axle line in RX8s, in my opinion, helps. Unless it's a V8 car, which then you can sacrifice a little more of that weight transfer. Just things we've learned. Nitrous bottle in the back behind the passenger seat. Dry sump tank is scatter bagged. Just cool stuff. And that's kind of what's going on. No longer running the Fogger nitrous system. We've got direct port. That was a big step up from last year. We actually broke this system and had to do some replumbing, so it did look a little cleaner. Nitrous Express, we apologize. We blew it right off of there one day, but we were able to get it back out on the track and have some fun. And it's been a learning experience, but I do recommend nitrous and rotaries. On top of our 30 plus pounds of boost with the slightly smaller turbo, adding that 100 to 200 shot of nitrous is very noticeable and very good feeling from the driver's seat. It's not an aggressive power shot like a lot of people ask. It actually comes on really smooth. Nitrous systems and ECU computers have really come a long way to allow for tunability and drivability to be increased in what used to be very aggressive undrivable setups. Now don't get me wrong, 1,000 horsepower 3-rotor on boosted nitrous is aggressive, but hey, we can still drive these things around. You know, I could probably get it through a drive-through, just maybe. We're starting to collapse this filter. They only make it a couple rounds. We're gonna have to swap that K&N out soon. And overall, looking good. You know, KMR, we're out here at the track. We build rotaries. We build race cars, primarily the motors now. You know, I believe you could put one of these 3 rotors or one of the 4 rotors we're working on in just about any chassis. They've proven very reliable, and if you look to Japan or some other countries, other series, you're starting to see more and more rotary power plants adapted to other chassis. So, you know, give me some input if you want to see us maybe come up with some crazy motor swap combinations and drift cars. You know, maybe we'd like to see that too. For a long time, the rotary's been very synonymous with the rotary chassis, but Japan has a 4-rotor S15. I think there's an S14 with a 13B floating around here in the US. You're starting to see more and more rotary, aggressive motor swaps in drifting and performance builds. That motor right there has about 3 seasons on it. So, proven reliability, proven power. Just need some good luck. All right, so, you know, little performance tech talk, little information. Big shout out to Brave Energy. Just talking and drinking a Brave. They're keeping me awake, keeping me energized. Follow Kyle Mohan Racing. Say what's up. We're happy to talk about the cars, help people achieve their rotary goals, because that's what we're out here doing. Winner's rear end, we got that from Sicky, custom subframe. You can see that 5-link Wisefab rear, and then Speedway Engineering sway bars all the way around. We did custom sway bars on this. Very important for pro drifting. So, enjoy, stay tuned, follow KMR.